Sami Zayn comes out. He comes out high-fiving everybody like a babyface would. The gingerbread outfit is standing in the ring, I would suggest on some sort of mannequin. So Zayn says that he loves being in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and talks about going to the Bob Dylan Center. And I don't know how popular this Bob Dylan Center is, but it got no reaction.
Yeah.
And of course, I understand like Zayn is supposed to be here being this sort of like disingenuous babyface. But like usually mentioning some sort of landmark in a city would elicit some sort of like, I don't know, like automatic reaction, right?
Yeah.
Nobody in Tulsa seemingly likes this Bob Dylan Center. No reaction to it. So he talks about how
I don't think they're fans. Yeah, there was no real reaction to the as musos. We will not all heard the trope about when Dylan went electric and all of that. There's no reaction to any of that talk either. This crowd clearly not Bob Dylan fans.
Zayn compares himself to Bob Dylan when Bob Dylan went electric and they turned on him and booed him. And Zayn says he can relate because he doesn't know why he's been getting booed. He again shouts out his ride or die fan club, which now like does elicit more and more boos each single week. He says he can handle some boos, but can't handle disrespect from somebody like Trick in the form of this gingerbread stuff from weeks ago. Zayn says it's easy to do what Trick does, dancing, the catchphrases, but it's hard to do what Sami does week after week. He gets worked up thinking about Trick and starts attacking the gingerbread mannequin, ripping its arm off. Trick at this point comes out, I guess to the gingerbread man's rescue, and he lands some punches, which sends Sami Zayn retreating. Trick then holds up the gingerbread man and holds up the X, calling for medical support for our poor fallen soldier here. Now,
Yes.
the segment doesn't necessarily work on its own and kind of needs the post-match backstage to really complete it. So, but any thoughts just on this?
And no disrespect to your recapping way, which I love, but you need to have Sammy's delivery, I think, also to sort of fully appreciate this. He right from when he comes out and he's high-fiving the fans, because in his own mind, he is this beloved babyface and he's out there for his ride or dies. And so everything makes sense in his own mind. The Bob Dylan stuff we mentioned and all the rest of it. And he then has his slight crisis of conscience where, he bunches up his fist and then to attack the gingerbread man. But then sort of goes, what am I doing? What am I doing? And shakes its hand before low blowing it. I mean, I loved all of this. It's for someone who earlier in the show was maybe kind of like poo-pooing some of the low comedy. Well, the Damien Priest and R-Truth stuff should be poo-pooed. It is bad. But I thought all of this Gingerbread Man stuff got me laughing, literally laughing out loud. And you can come at me, people, if you want. But I find it very, very funny, particularly what was to come with the deadpan reaction from both Wade and Tessitore. Nobody here in kayfabe, not even Nick Aldis, was selling the fact that this was just a stuffed outfit. They were all mourning the destruction of Gingerbread Man. I really enjoyed it.
Yes, that was about some of the most fire I've heard from you, Neil. Most worked up I've ever heard for you talking about, of all things, the Gingerbread Man here. So we go to the back where Trick Williams is with Kathy, and they're in front of the medical room. As Neil says, Kathy is just kind of playing this very straight. We're awaiting word from the medical office about the status of the Gingerbread Man. Trick emerges out of the room. Says Sami Zayn crossed the line. Last week you took out Yachty. This week you took out the Gingerbread Man. And now you're messing with my money. And Trick does not play around with his money. He talks about their upcoming match at Backlash. Well, I guess this is where he throws the challenge to Sami for a match at Backlash. And says that you can ask the legend herself. When Trick Williams wants it, he gets that ass. How romantic. Lovely. This is when the doctor comes out, signaling that Gingerbread is not going to make it.
What was your reaction here? Why? I want to know if you chuckled, smiled even.
I don't think I laughed as hard as you did, but I mean, I thought it was amusing. I certainly did. I wasn't sure perhaps about like having like Trick Williams end the show just like coming out, saving a costume, throwing the X out. But having this segment and just having the rest of the show really kind of play this whole thing up, I thought it was great. I thought it was hilarious.
Great, yeah, me too. No, I wasn't rolling on the floor, so I should clarify that. But I was definitely pretty highly amused by this. The doctor, he, as Way said, he does the sort of motion across his throat, like Gingerbread is not.
Yeah, we should maybe complete our Gingerbread saga here, because later on we get Tessitore delivering in a very somber tone an in-memory graphic for the Gingerbread Man. This is followed by in the sort of preview of SmackDown next week. We will be getting the funeral of Gingerbread Man here on SmackDown next Friday. How about this graphic? What do you think?
Well, I suppose it's a celebration of his life, so it's it's nice to have him looking happy.
Candy cane Gates. Look at this.
Yeah. AI.
You don't know that.
I don't know.
This could exist somewhere.
If the Post Wrestling Cafe were to undergo a drug test in the month of May, we would be testing positive because we are overloaded with content. We are going to be reviewing Hulk Hogan, Real American, all 4 episodes this month. Plus, we will go inside the Manosphere with a review of the latest Louis Theroux documentary. We will also have coverage of the Ronda Rousey-Gina Carano fight, also taking place on Netflix. Rewind Away tackles WCW Super Brawl 2, and we cover NXT TakeOver Brooklyn from 2015. All that, plus all of the XL editions on a weekly basis, Collision Course, Daredevil Born Again, and so much more. It can all be yours at postwrestlingcafe.com. $8 gets you in the door.